Hey friends, we're here for a bit of a Q&A today, or 1Q and 1A. The Q being, what's wrong with you, Victoria? And the answer is, so many things. Oh, so many, but we're going to focus on one, and that is chronic migraines. So yes, it is chronic migraines I suffer. Why? Great question. Shall go unanswered. I think I was cursed by a witch, or God is punishing me, or I was a war criminal in a past life, and this is my bad karma. That is as good as explanation as any, because what one of my neurologists told me is that nobody knows anything about migraine, and anybody who says they do is lying. The process for having migraine diagnosed is a little bit tricky. Not all doctors are created equal. So the first GP I saw did blood work. The blood work was clear. When I said, "So what's wrong with me?" he shrugged. Great. The second one diagnosed it as cervicogenic migraine, which is basically you have a sore neck and the sore neck is giving you a migraine. I didn't think that was quite right, but I followed what she said at first and I went to physio, and when physio clearly made no difference, I went to another GP. That GP, bless his socks, did neurological tests on me, which you're meant to do when somebody presents with migraine, just in case it's a symptom of something very sinister. And it can be a symptom of all sorts of sinister things, stuff like tumours, blood clots, MS, the list goes on. That was all fine, no problems with my motor skills or anything like that, so it was diagnosed as chronic migraine and my treatment started. I went to multiple neurologists, and not even smarty pants neurologists are created equally. The first one tried a couple of medications with me, they didn't work. As he handed me the third one, he said, "If this doesn't work, I don't know what else to do for you," which sounds an awful lot like a death sentence when you're in as much pain as I am. Another neurologist tried the Botox treatment, which helps lots of people, but didn't help me. It made me worse. And then neurologist number 3, my savior, my man, I love him, he promised not to give up on me and to try whatever it took. However, he also gave me some home truths. The first of them was that there is no cure for migraines, and that he didn't expect to be able to cure me. Unless I woke up well one day, the same way I woke up sick one day, I was never going to be healthy again. But he could help me manage them. It was then he also said that nobody knows anything about migraine, and if they say they do, they're lying. There are multiple causes for migraine. It could be anything, and everybody is different. He assumed that mine is transformed migraine, that I had a virus, it gave me a migraine, the virus went away, the migraine stayed. By the time I saw him, there was no way for him to track whether that was true or not, because any kind of indicators of a virus would have been long gone from my body. So that's the best guess. My husband has another theory. He thinks that it was mold. At the time that I fell sick, we were renting a place that had a really serious mold problem, and mold is a neurotoxin. So there's also every possibility that the mold gave me a neurological disorder. Migraines, of course, are the cause, the thing that I deal with at the heart of everything else, but it does come with a whole lot of symptoms as well. So when I first fell sick, the symptoms were so strong, I almost didn't even notice the pain because I was overwhelmingly nauseous, overwhelmingly fatigued. I was bumping into walls. I couldn't walk properly. I couldn't speak properly. It was a huge mess, and it took a while for that to settle and for the pain to be the dominant problem. It's easier to describe the symptoms first because most people know what it is to be super nauseous or fatigued. As pain gets worse, the symptoms get worse as well. So I lose my speech, I lose my sight, I lose control of my hands and my feet. They cramp up, and then my arms cramp up and my legs cramp up. I have to crawl places. And at the worst of it, I will simply collapse and be as good as dead on the floor because I'm in so much pain I can't hear, speak, respond, move, nothing. My heart's beating, my lungs are going, and that's it. That's as good as I get until the pain can subside or somebody puts endone down my throat, which is otherwise known as morphine. Groovy, Good strong one there. To give you an indication of what it's like to live with migraines, I will try to describe it to you. Because unfortunately, this is a hidden disability or an invisible illness, and as such, it is absolutely impossible for anyone to guess at how it feels, especially if you're dealing with someone like me who cracks jokes and smiles all the way through massive trauma. I don't make it easy on myself. People assume I'm fine when I'm absolutely not, because I'm always making fun of everything. To demonstrate the pain of migraines, I would have to set you on fire. I'd set you on fire, and then I would need to ram multiple katanas, samurai swords, through your head, and then twist them while they're inside your skull. And then I would replace all of your hair with needles, and those needles would weigh a ton each. And then I'd pull out all your teeth and instead put in boulders, great big rocks that are heavy and hurt and ache in your jaw. And I would make all of your bones crack and turn your nervous system into electricity. And then I would give you just a bit of codeine and tell you to carry on with your day. That would be the best way to describe migraines, with the added bonus of no one else being able to see the flames, or the swords, or the needles, or the stones, and some people just straight up not believing you when you say, please, for the love of God, help me, I'm in pain. They are torture. They wrought nothing but malfunction. It is impossible to do anything through the upper levels of pain. I can kind of carry on like a 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10. When you start getting to a 6 or a 7, I need to stop whatever I'm doing. And 8, 9, 10, we're in big danger zone. That's me collapsing, crawling places, vomiting, totally blind, totally non-verbal. And the problem is as well that I think many people believe if you have a chronic pain disorder, you become desensitized to pain. It's the opposite. You become more sensitive to pain. So the more pain you're in, the more pain you get, and it just keeps building on itself. There are triggers, apart from pain begetting pain. So my triggers are bright lights, loud noises, strong smells, heat, cold, high emotions, so too happy, too sad, migraine, too much caffeine, too little caffeine, migraine, too much sugar or anything that might dehydrate me, and of course dehydration, other bodily pain like a sore neck or a sore back, or if I have a cold, fatigue, I can't remember whether I said that, fatigue, stress, what else? Oh my God, so many things. There's a lot of them, and of course they build upon each other. So for example, smell I'm sensitive to, however, if the more pain I'm in, the more sensitive I become to smell. So at first it's like a bit of a problem, and then it becomes a big problem the more pain that I'm in. And then of course things like hormone balances, so just straight up my own hormones will make things better or worse depending on what my body's doing. Treatment-wise, much like everybody is different for why they get migraines, everybody is different for how they treat it. It's one of the reasons why I'm going on this journey, because I can't give myself a definitive answer of what is or is not going to work for me lifestyle-wise to make my life better. When I first fell sick, of course, I tried a lot of things out of sheer desperation. People said things like swimming really helped. Swimming made me worse, but it might help for other people. Yoga helps me, but I know it doesn't work for other people, for example. And the same thing goes with medications. Like I said, Botox usually makes people better or doesn't really have an effect at all. It made me worse. Every medication is different. I can't take medications based on hormones. They totally destroy me. So I have to use different types of medications. And that's just the trick with migraines. You have to keep trying. Try everything. Never stop. If you are with a doctor that isn't willing to keep trying, you've got to change doctors. You just have to, because there's always something new coming down the line. You need to be holistic about it. You've got to treat this as a body, mind, spirit balance thing, because believe me, your mind goes with it. One of the symptoms, of course, that comes with being in pain all the time is your mental health goes through the floor. It's very difficult to be trapped in your own body, and even harder to acknowledge that the person you were is gone. Anyone who's met me now obviously just accepts me as I am, but there are, of course, a lot of people in my life who knew me before I was sick, and they find it a little harder. And I, of course, find it the hardest to accept that I'm not what I was. I used to be energy girl. I used to be first in, last out at every single party. I was always doing something. I was everywhere, active, active. And now I have absolutely no energy. And I can't communicate as well as I used to. And I can't be the places I want to be and do the things I want to do, because there's a cap on how much I can tolerate. Too much of anything is a problem. I can't sit for too long. I can't stand for too long. I can't lie down for too long. I definitely can't socialize for too long. And family time is the hardest of all of that, because my family is loud. They're really loud and they're really energetic, and I can't keep up with it. I used to be the leader of that loud energy group, and I'm not anymore. It's a struggle for a lot of reasons. I think one of the biggest struggles is the fact that it's an invisible illness, and it's hard to be taken seriously by people, even medical professionals. The other big difficulty, of course, is being measured in your response to your own illness. When I first fell sick and I was trying medication after medication after medication, my darling mother was being hyper positive about it. And every time I tried a new medication, she was like, "This is it, kiddo. This one's going to fix everything. You're going to be just fine after this." And I'd go, "Yeah, I'm going to be." "Oh, it didn't work." "Yeah, I'm going to." "Oh, it didn't work." And I would crash out in huge bouts of depression every time a medication didn't work. And eventually I had to say to my mother, "Thank you so much for being so positive, but I need you to stop. These are my new parameters, and I have to find a way to live within them." It's one of the reasons why on the Torsey channel you would have heard me talk about chronic illness, and why I so often thank the community of the Torsey channel for just being there, because I would have no life whatsoever if I didn't have that. I would be crushingly alone. I'm very glad that I had some kind of skill that would allow me to work from home and still connect with people and have a community and have a life. Because if I didn't have that skill, I genuinely don't know what I'd be doing, because I can't leave my house. If I stay in my perfectly controlled little environment, I won't be in too big a pain. But if I go out into the world, pain. Pain immediately. I'm so, so grateful that I at least had some kind of skill that I could apply from home, and that brought me a community. It's not even so much about the work, actually. It's about having people in my world and not being lonely. It's very isolating, being sick like this. I'm not sure what else to say about them. If this has raised even more questions, please do let me know. I can only tell you my experience with this, and be very honest in the fact that no two people with migraine will have the same experience. Thank you for this question, and I hope that answered it. See you soon.